We have one more speaker before the refreshment breaks. I'm sure you'll be glad to hear. His name is Manimohan. He's a senior director in public policy for GSMA, which is a trade body that represents the interest of mobile phone operators worldwide. May I ask Mani to the stage?
Thank you for the introduction. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It is a pleasure to be given an opportunity to share our views on the digital opportunities that are created by the new shift in the technology and the business world, that is digitalization. Exactly 2 weeks ago, we published a report on embracing the digital revolution. It was a report that was close to my heart as somebody who had worked on the first 2G, 3G mobile device, and also a passionate advocate for digital progress. It was also the underlying theme at a discussion at the Mobile World Congress where Minister Khan participated in a panel discussion. I have a takeaway card like this, which I'll leave outside in the room, which gives you the URL from which you can download the report. We heard the words digital, trade, mobile connectivity from the speakers that went before me. So I'll talk about the intersection of all these three words in my talk for the next 10 minutes. Vibrant digital economies create opportunities for social interactions, product innovations, and digital trade, bringing these to people across the world and across borders. We are so immersed in everything digital, we sometimes forget the dramatic shift caused by the process of digitalization and the enormous potential to change the lives of many people around the world. Digital technology is shaping the future of global trade and investment, and underlying that rapid growth in digital trade is the mobile-powered connectivity. The movement of products, capital, and people have been a common thread in the civilization since civilization started. While the last era of globalization has focused pretty much on exploring low-cost production facilities and low-cost production processes, the next era of globalization will be centered on building global knowledge economies. Flows of physical goods and finance were the hallmarks of the 20th century economy. The 21st century globalization and global economy will be built on the flows of data and information. Virtually every type of cross-border transaction today has a digital component. According to a report published by McKinsey earlier this year, cross-border bandwidth, that is the amount of bits and bytes transferred between countries, has grown more than 50 times over the last 10 years and projected to grow more than 10 times over the next 5 years. Digital technologies create opportunities for trade in three ways. Number one, the process of digitization itself. That is, for example, where books were transformed into e-books, CDs were transformed into music streams. So create new goods. You create new types of goods through the process of digitization. Number two, value enhancement by connecting physical flows with digital flows. A classic example of this is fleet management. And that's where you see a lot of the current productive activity around digitalization is to manage fleets, to manage logistics much more effectively. And we have all heard about the vision of a connected car, which takes that to an extreme. And number three, the creation of digital platforms, marketplaces which are digital, which allow value exchange between small sellers and small buyers and big businesses. The classic Amazon Marketplace and eBay. So this opportunity, this transformation of trade and how we do things, means not only largest global companies and big countries and big investors have the opportunity to trade, but also emerging countries, small businesses, and individuals. For participants of all types, countries, companies, and citizens, participating in this digital trade flow offers major economic and social advancement opportunities. Small traders and enterprises, whether they are based in London or Lahore, can overcome constraints in their local markets and can tap into a global market for both customers, suppliers, finances, and talent. This is the promise of digital opportunity, but we also should acknowledge there are pitfalls. There are barriers and uncertainties that we need to overcome, whether it is in relation to custom duties, international payment mechanisms, parcel deliveries, copyright restrictions, and flow of data. We should also strive to build an inclusive digital economy, embracing all the people in the world, and to help our fellow citizens to adapt to this transition. So policymakers have a key role to play. Smart strategies and policies are needed to take full advantage of this opportunity. Harnessing the power of digital should be a top priority for policymakers and business leaders everywhere. Building a digital powerhouse requires to put in place a number of policies in relation to infrastructure, capital, talent, and critically, mindset or leadership or culture. We outlined 4 policies for progress in our report, which are roughly similar to some of the themes mentioned by the speakers before me. I just want to turn to the opportunity between these 2 countries, the UK and Pakistan. Digital commerce has grown significantly in recent years in both the United Kingdom and Pakistan and is expected to continue to grow. Mark Fields mentioned online retail sales in the UK has topped 150 billion in 2016. The digital economy in the UK contributes more than $200 billion, almost 10% of the GDP here. Just 5 years after the launch of Tech City in London, venture capital funds have grown almost 10 times over the last 5 years. In Pakistan, since the launch of 3G and 4G services in mid-2014, there has been an exponential growth in broadband connections. With continued investments from our members in the mobile industry, 2 billion over the last three years and another 3 billion over the next 4 years, we expect that more than 90% of the population in Pakistan will have access to a broadband signal. More than half the population will own a smartphone, a device that is the window to this digital opportunity. According to recent reports in the Pakistan media citing the government, digital commerce has been doubling in size and is projected to surpass $1 billion in 2020. Risk capital has also been flowing into Pakistan, with VC funding reaching 100 million in 2015. And over 3/4 of this VC funding is being invested in mobile and internet sectors. These 2 countries recognize the importance of digital in the policy agenda. Pakistan has set its digital ambitions under the Vision 2025 program. At the beginning of this month, the UK government published its digital strategy, outlined 7 strands, not too different from the 4 policies of progress I mentioned. One critical strand is connectivity, and that is where our members come into play. Fast, reliable mobile connectivity underpins the digital economy, as the minister explained with some very effective use of slides to show how building mobile connectivity opens up many opportunities for citizens. Encouraging investment in mobile connectivity should be a policy priority, together with modernizing policy and regulatory frameworks for this new world. The internet and digital trade are built on information flows. Citizens and policymakers around the world disagree on how and where to regulate cross-border information on topics such as intellectual property, privacy, cybersecurity, and censorship. Policymakers should recognize that digital trade can create win-win opportunities for everyone. It has a huge potential for nation states to find common ground on not only the rules and policies they agree on, but also the exceptions to those rules. So they could strive to achieve equivalence in outcomes in terms of policies for this global digital economy, but they can also disagree where it suits their own countries. Therefore, trade agreements, whether bilateral, trilateral, and policies between countries could provide a framework to govern in particular, information flows between countries. In parallel with the Vision 2025 agenda, Pakistan's national telecom policy seeks to modernize the regulatory framework of a market that has changed significantly since the industry was first privatized. European countries have also embarked on a very comprehensive review of their telecoms regulatory framework with a view of modernizing the framework to align with the digital single market agenda. We as GSMA are actively involved in both these markets, bringing together stakeholders, both mobile operators, the wider mobile industry, and policymakers and other experts to bring insights and ideas to this modernization journey. We look forward to continuing to work with all parties as we build this future for a mobile-powered digital opportunities together. Thank you for listening. I'll be happy to answer any questions over discussions.